Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc are totally seething. What was supposed to mark the beginning of a bold new era for Ferrari is now crumbling into chaos, disillusionment, and an atmosphere of growing desperation behind closed doors. Just when the Scuderia thought it had finally cracked the code, when the future looked promising with two world-class drivers and a clean slate for 2026, a bombshell leak has detonated at the heart of Maranello. Inside Ferrari HQ, voices are rising, tempers are flaring, and the one thing that holds teams together, trust, is evaporating fast. Because now, explosive new information has surfaced about Ferrari's 2026 engine development. And the fallout? It's catastrophic. This power unit, the one designed to carry them into a new age of dominance, into an electrified future that could finally dethrone Red Bull and Mercedes, has been exposed. And what insiders are saying, it's devastating. Sources claim that Ferrari's 2026 engine is already lagging behind, and that once again, Mercedes is setting the benchmark. Despite all their resources, despite their historic pedigree, despite the blockbuster signing of a 7-time world champion, Ferrari may have already overplayed their hand. For Lewis Hamilton, this feels like déjà vu. For Charles Leclerc, it's an agonizing confirmation of doubts he's kept buried for far too long. But this isn't just about dyno numbers. This is about trust. This is about vision. This is about whether Ferrari's leadership finally understands what it takes to win in the brutal, high-stakes world of modern Formula One. Hamilton didn't walk away from Mercedes to start over. He didn't sign a multi-year deal just to wait for miracles. He came to fight, and now, Ferrari may have just lost the very weapon they were counting on to wage that war. So before we dive into the full story, before we dissect what's been uncovered, what it means for 2026, and why this could tear Ferrari's future apart faster than anyone imagined, do me a solid, smash that like button, subscribe, and stick with us until the end. Because what you're about to hear, it doesn't just impact one season, it could reshape the entire trajectory of Ferrari, Hamilton, and Leclerc forever. Let's rewind to the moment where the wheels started to come off. When Lewis Hamilton announced he was leaving Mercedes after more than a decade, the paddock didn't just react, it gasped. This wasn't a routine transfer, it was an earthquake. The greatest motivator Formula One has ever known was leaving the team that built his legend. Why? Because Hamilton believed Ferrari had the tools, the fire, and most importantly, the engine to dominate the next decade. He wasn't betting on the name Maranello. He wasn't chasing red-painted nostalgia. He was betting on 2026. And Charles Leclerc? He wasn't just going along for the ride. He doubled down, re-signing until 2029. Despite the heartbreak, despite the missed podiums, despite the years of tactical turmoil, Leclerc stayed. Because to him, Ferrari isn't just a team. It's home. The dream of becoming world champion in red runs deeper than stats and headlines. And with Hamilton by his side, he truly believed they could flip the script. That together, they'd ignite a golden age of the Scuderia under the new regulations. But what neither of them knew, what no one could have seen coming, was that Ferrari's most crucial promise might already be slipping away. Because the shocking leaks now emerging from the paddock, they've changed everything. Insiders now claim that Ferrari's 2026 engine project isn't just running behind, it's in serious jeopardy. Under the new regs, which call for a 50-50 hybrid split and a future built around green sustainable fuels, Ferrari is reportedly struggling just to hit the baseline. More and more questions have been posed about the electric energy deployment system. Engineers are reportedly fighting persistent cooling issues, variations in energy retrieval, and a chassis engine integration imbalance that might blow the entire power unit concept up before it is seen on the track. This is a dream-turned-nightmare for Hamilton. He departed Mercedes in part because he was concerned they'd fall behind under the new rules. But now, looks like they're ahead of the pack. Multiple sources suggest Mercedes is producing the most balanced, efficient, and powerful 2026 engine in the sport field, while Red Bull, working with Ford, is accelerating development on the electrical side, and Audi is quietly advancing its factory project from Newburgh. Ferrari is described internally as hesitant and technically divided. Hamilton, who thrives on direction, clarity, and engineering synergy, is reportedly growing frustrated by the lack of concrete answers. He's been pushing the team hard for clarity, scheduling back-to-back meetings with top technical directors, performance analysts, and even simulator staff to understand what's going wrong. What he's hearing, however, isn't giving him confidence. The pace is slow, the vision is blurred, and worst of all, the leadership appears to be divided over how to fix it. Man, in the final phase of his career, whose sole goal is to claim that historic 8th world title. This uncertainty isn't just irritating, it's infuriating. And then there's Leclerc, the poster boy of Ferrari, the driver, who since 2019 has put loyalty before logic, but even that loyalty has limits after watching 2022 collapse due to reliability issues and 2023 fade in strategic blunders. He entered 2024 and 2025, hoping things would finally change. They haven't, in fact. Despite some podiums and a few flashes of brilliance, Ferrari has once again slid backwards, and now with doubts surrounding 2026, the year that was supposed to fix everything, is beginning to think the unthinkable. What if he backed the wrong team? He's not voicing it publicly, not yet. But paddock whispers say that Entourage has already started asking quiet questions about Mercedes, about Aston Martin, about exit clauses. Yes, his contract runs until 2029, but it's no secret that he negotiated a performance trigger for 2026. And if Ferrari fails to deliver a competitive engine in year one of the new era, that clause could become the escape hatch Leclerc never wanted to use, but might be forced to, and this all comes at the worst possible moment. 2026 regulation overhaul isn't just any rule set, it's the biggest reset. Since the hybrid era began in 2014, the field will be rebalanced, power structures will shift, and those who get it right will control the grid for years. This is Ferrari's last chance to reset the narrative, but right now they're not leading, they're trailing. What makes this even more dangerous is what's happening behind closed doors. Fred Vasseur is facing unprecedented pressure from shareholders, from fans, and now from within the garage itself. The public tension with the Italian press has already caused damage. But this engine situation, it could be the breaking point. Vasseur has insisted publicly that Ferrari is on track with their plans, that they are fully committed to both 2025 and 2026, but internally, even his allies admit the situation is deteriorating. Sources say that Ferrari's engine department is under-resourced. Compared to rivals, that key decisions are being delayed, that simulations are producing inconsistent data, and that the recent leak didn't just expose a technical weakness, it confirmed what many inside the factory already feared, that Ferrari might have missed the target again. So, what happens next? If Ferrari doesn't course correct fast, they risk entering 2026 as underdogs, not favorites, and the consequences of that go far beyond race results. They risk alienating two of the most high-profile, marketable, and talented drivers in the sport. Hamilton didn't move to Maranello for nostalgia. He moved for legacy and Leclerc. He's done waiting. He wants titles, not excuses. This isn't a rumor. This isn't clickbait. This is a crisis unfolding in real time. Ferrari's engine for 2026 was supposed to be the crown jewel of a new era. Right now, it looks more like a warning light on the dashboard. And if Hamilton and Leclerc lose faith, the entire Scuderia project, the drivers, the fan base, the momentum could collapse before the new era even begins. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Can Ferrari recover from this? Should Hamilton and Leclerc consider walking away? And is 2026 already slipping through their fingers before it even starts? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell, because this story isn't over. In fact, it's only just